My goal today is to work on a couple of these shelves in this closet. Now we've gone through the closet before and kind of decluttered quite a bit, but I can tell from some of the spaces here that this organization is not working, so I need to come up with a better system. I think for now, a lot of the things in here I'm going to keep. Of course, when we actually go through everything, that might change. The two top shelves are pretty good. I don't really think I have to do much with those. Everything's pretty easy to get to. Even the third shelf, I don't think I'll have to do all that much with this area. I keep my griddle back there, the big pots, my slow cooker. But it's really these two shelves, they're just not working. It's very hard to keep organized. So I want to come up with a different way to get this figured out. Hello and welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video and I do apologize for that. I will get into that a little bit later on in this video. But I wanted to say that when I'm doing an organization project like this, where I am doing quite a few things, I really think it's important to pull everything out so you get a good idea of everything that you have. You can give the space a really good wipe down and cleaning, and then reorganize things the way that you'd like them. If we haven't met before, my name is Jen, and I have been decluttering now on YouTube for a couple of years, and honestly, the majority of our journey is on here if you'd like to go back and check any of those videos out. But we used to have so much stuff, and my house was constantly cluttered and a mess, and I just spent so much time cleaning. And now that we've gotten pretty much everything out of the house that we don't use, I really do not have to do that anymore. And it has been so freeing and just given me so much more time back in my life. But sometimes I find areas like this where I have to go back and redo things and kind of figure out a better system. And I am very happy with how this turned out. I'm really not even sure how these shelves get so dirty since they only get clean dishes put on them. But anyways, I'm just clearing out the space now, giving it a quick vacuum and then a quick wipe down, and we can start putting everything back in there, and I'll show you exactly what I've taken out. Let me just show you what I've taken out so far. Then I've got some more things on the table. And here are a couple things that I picked up off of Amazon. I'm going to give them a try. I'm hoping that they're going to kind of do what I want them to do. They were super easy to put together. All I had to do was screw in that bottom screw there, and the other ones just kind of sit in there. This is the name of it if you're interested. I bought it off of Amazon. So let's kind of put things back into the closet and see how they're going to fit. But first, I'm just going to give this a quick wipe down and put it back in there so it's nice and clean. Now, typically when you're starting an organization project, the last thing that I recommend you do is go out and buy a bunch of organizers or bins or baskets or anything else until you've done a full declutter and know exactly what you want to keep. And then once you've done that, then you can go out and purchase organizers. Otherwise, I know that I have spent so much money on different organizers and bins and baskets that I've had to end up throwing away just because I found that I no longer needed them because I didn't have as much stuff. Now, everything that we're keeping in here, I do use, so I'm just laying out all of the organizers in a way that I can then go on and place all of the dishes. And again, it has worked out so much better than I could have even imagined. I love putting things away, and I love when I'm going to get things, how easy it is to actually grab them to do any of my cooking or baking. A little bit later in the video, I'm also going to show you what our bedroom looks like now that it's completed. We have gotten all of the decorations, curtains, window treatments, and even a new closet door, and I cannot wait for you to see that. Any of you that have watched my videos, you'll know what my bedroom used to look like, and what it looks like now is just so amazing, and I'm so happy with it, and I can't wait to share that with you. So I'm not really sure what's been going on with me lately. I've just been feeling a little bit down, I guess, and depressed maybe, and I've had a really hard time finding the energy to film videos and get them posted on YouTube. So I really and truly apologize for that. I'm trying to get back into it now, and I can't make promise that I'm going to be able to post a new video each week. And I think part of my problem is that a lot of my content has been decluttering my house, and for the most part, that is done. I know that there's a lot of creators who have been on this platform or others for several years, and they always have new things to okay declutter. These two shelves are done. I think that they look so much better. That one for the heavy pans I kept the same because it works. This here with the baking sheets again works. I have a couple things that I like to use on a regular basis. And then down here, I'm super happy with the way that it turned out. Just by adding those two organizers, I was really able to separate all of my pans into pretty much single layer. That way I can easily get to everything. Everything isn't on top of each other. And I think it's going to be easier to put away. I ended up putting that big tub at the top there, and that's stuff that I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep, but for now I'm going to keep it there. If I find that I'm not reaching for it, then I will get rid of it. My yogurt maker, again, not something that I use all the time, but I do want to keep it for now. And then maybe I'll come back at some point and do the other shelves. And then at some point I do need to go through the bottom and kind of get that situated again. But for right now, this was my main source of frustration, and I am super happy with the way it turned out. The tea kettle I'm going to put downstairs, and that baking dish I'm going to get rid of because I have two that I use all the time and I never reach for that one. It's ceramic, and I just don't find that it heats up the way that I want it to. And then there's just one more thing that I would like to get in here and organize. I have a rack in here that's supposed to kind of hold all of the cutting boards, although I find that they pop out constantly, so I bought one that's supposed to be better. I'm going to put it together and see how it works. So as I was saying, I know that there's a lot of creators on here that have been doing this for years that always seem to have a never-ending supply of things to declutter, and that's just not the case for me. I'm much more intentional now about the things that I bring into the house. I keep things in my carts for quite a while before actually purchasing them, and I'm just not really sure how to pivot the content that I've done into something a little bit different, but that's what I'm trying to think of now. So just hopefully you can give me a little bit more time. Okay, this thing feels so much more sturdy than this. You can see it's just super flimsy, and this feels really, really sturdy. All right, so they are in there, and I do want to get another 1 or 2 cutting boards and maybe get rid of some of the smaller wood ones. So until I do that, I'm going to leave it like this for now, but I will let you know how it works out. And now this is done on a separate week. I wanted to come under the sink and get it a little bit freshened up for spring and organize it a little bit better. It had been a while since I'd gone through it. So I'm going to take everything out again, clean everything, and put everything back in just to freshen up the space for the spring. Now I've really pared down the amount of products that I use over the years, but there are still quite a few things in here that I do like to use. So as long as everything fits comfortably in the space, I'm okay with keeping them. Once it starts to get a little bit overfilling and where I have to maneuver things to get to what I want, that's when it becomes a problem and I want to tackle it. In the past, these projects would have been a huge deal for me to complete just because the rest of the house was such a mess that I would have had to clean everything up around me in order to even do something like this. Whereas now my house has never been cleaner. It is always clean and tidy, especially since I've been doing my weekly resets. I do them at the beginning of the week. It takes about 2 hours every week. And then for the rest of the week, except for the usual things that we have to do all of the time, my house stays so clean, and it's just so amazing to me. I used to be somebody who never really separated the weeks. I'm a shift worker. I work 12-hour shifts. So my weeks always kind of rolled into each other. So I would just clean every day for hours because, again, every surface was cluttered with stuff. And now, because I have pretty much all of the surfaces cleared off, things all have a place to go home to, and things get put away. It is so much easier to maintain the house and to get projects like this done in just a very short period of time. I would also say that it's really crucial to figure out your organizing style and organize for the products that you use in your home. It's really easy to go on social media and see what other people do and try to get that in your own home. But all of our homes are different. Some are larger, some are smaller, some have more cabinets or more drawers or whatever. Some people use more products, some people use less products. So figure out your organizing style and organize for the space that you have currently in your home and not for what you see on social media. These are containers from the Container Store, Walmart, and Amazon. And it took me several tries to actually get in here and figure out exactly what worked in the space. But now that I have, it works perfectly, and I'm able to get to everything very easily. And I love how easy it is to maintain. Even doing this did not take me long at all. And I think that's really important to, again, organize for the space that you have currently in your home and for the things that you use. I'm going to keep those 2 bottles, but they're duplicates, so I'm going to move them downstairs. I'm just going to get rid of these things. I just don't have a use for them anymore. And then here's what we're looking like inside. I do think it's a lot better. There's nothing in the back. The area is picked up a little bit. Everything fits nicely. Here's a couple pictures of what our old room used to look like, complete chaos. I am so excited to show you that we finally finished our bedroom. I am in love with this room. It is still very minimal, but I was finally able to find some artwork that I liked. We added the lamps on the wall. That way they didn't take up too much room on the night tables. And then we added some closet doors. We decided to go with the barn style just because it was the easiest way to figure it out, to just put it over the top instead of trying to figure out the racks and all that for the sliding doors. They're bifold, and we just stained them the same color as we stained the bedroom door. Now the last thing we need to do is, of course, figure out a system still for inside the closet. That's still a work in progress, but once we figure it out, I'll share that with you as well. And then we finally got a regular size fan to just go in the corner because I need a fan to sleep at night. And then I added a nice mirror, just very simple. We have a new TV coming because this one is broken. It doesn't turn on, so that should be here in a couple of days. And that's it. I still have 1 or 2 things that I might want to add to this space here, but it's really finally finished. And I could not be happier. Every time I walk in here, I have a smile on my face. It just feels so peaceful and calming. So for those of you that have kind of been on the journey with us with all of our bedrooms, let me know what you think. I also changed the rug in the entryway. I really wanted something a little bit bigger and a little bit more textured than the one that was here. So when I saw this jute rug, I kind of fell in love with it, and I do think that it looks really pretty in this space here. And it's still going to be very easy to lift up because that bench is super light. I can just move that out of the way, lift up the rug, and clean good underneath it. And then now that the spring is here, soon these coats will be gone, so it'll be a little bit less cluttered. And I do have some ideas of things that I would like to maybe put on this area here too, but for right now, I'm just gonna stick with the little olive tree that I have there. It's fake, it works for now. But I do love the way that this rug looks here. I also want to share what we've been doing this weekend. We decided to repaint my son's room white. He has been asking for it for quite a while now. For this room to be redone in white, he was just sick of the cyan color. He'd had that since he was little, and he just wanted something a little bit more neutral. So this weekend we took everything out of the room and repainted it all. The stuff on top there I'm going to be getting rid of. He said he doesn't want it, so I'm going to declutter that. I already have a bag of some clothes that he doesn't want. We also spray painted the grates white, and we repainted the floor just because we had some water in here after the last time we painted it, so it had started to come up, so the whole floor is repainted. And now we're going to be saving up. I was thinking about buying something from IKEA for this area here, getting rid of just like the open clothing and maybe putting some sort of like a pack system, but not quite the packs because it's super tall and this room just isn't that tall, but something similar to that where he can have it closed. And if we can buy a wide enough one, maybe the length of this here, we should be able to then get rid of this dresser. He also wants a different desk, so we're going to be working on maybe like an L-shaped desk for this area here. Getting rid of the dresser, just having the one closed system here for his clothes. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.